Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
These are tough times, and they're getting even tougher. The clock is ticking. The countdown to collapse is well underway. What are you going to do about it? Will you just wait for it to happen, or will you be ready when it happens? The decision is yours, and yours alone. Join myself, Mickey Fulp, Robert Ian, David Morgan, Jeff Berwick, Elijah Johnson, Alan Butler, Gregory Manarino, Daniel Amaduri, Andy Hoffman, Tekoa Da Silva, Trace Mayer, one of the world's leading Bitcoin authorities, Bix Weir, Jay Taylor, and Gary Christensen at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in Las Vegas on February 21st and 22nd, and learn how to create your plan to survive the collapse. The last Liberty Mastermind Symposium was one of the most highly rated conferences ever, and this one promises to be even better. Don't miss it. Join us and register now at libertymastermind.us. libertymastermind.us. This one is going to be out of this world, and it's going to be even better because it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to Liberty Mastermind US and sign up today. You are listening to the financialsurvivalnetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1230 WBZT. Well, you're probably familiar with Christina Tobin. She's the founder of freeandequal.org. Let her tell you exactly what they do. I think you'll be as impressed as I am. And something that she's working on now that's coming up, the United We Stand Festival, coming up on May 10th of 2014. And the headline list of who's speaking there, I think you'll be as amazed as I am. Christina, welcome back to the Financial Survival Network.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Hey, so the United We Stand Festival, tell us what that's all about.
Sure. Well, the United We Stand Festival is being hosted by the Free and Equal Elections Foundation and the founder and chair of Free and Equal. And Free and Equal is truly a 501c3 nonprofit, non-partisan grassroots organization, and our mission is to shift the power back to the individual voter through educating the public, and this will result in more independent candidates being elected. So one of many different initiatives we have, and this initiative alone really is going to drive, I feel, a lot of awareness throughout the U.S. and the world, is the 10-stop University Bus Tour. It's called the United We Stand University Bus Tour. And we're kicking it off at UCLA. The Poly Pavilion is newly renovated, holds over 10,000 next May 10th. And so I'd be happy to tell you as you ask more about that, but I thought it would be important for listeners to be a bit familiar with what Free and Equal stands for and what we're up to.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that you're going to have Gary Johnson there. And, he was the Libertarian candidate for president, and they totally excluded him from all the presidential debates that took place in the last election. And then you've got Jill Stein, who's the head of the Green Party, and that's going to be an interesting assortment of people. And then Chuck T of Public Enemy. How'd you get this group together?
Well, that's what Free and Equal really is about. We're about bringing together such a variety of individuals, whether it's musicians like Public Enemy and founders of Wu-Tang Clan are concerned, to playing for change. They play around the world in music to help better our world, very peaceful reggae. So quite diverse. And of course, the speakers you mentioned go beyond that. We have the founder of March Against Monsanto, Sammy Canal, to three-time Emmy Award-winning journalist Amber Lyon, a CNN whistleblower. And so I recognized many, many years ago, I'm 32 years of age now, I feel that I'm just a gal that wants to help save our country. And I recognize, well, even at 17 years of age, that our electoral system is flawed, electoral fraud. And, here at Free and Equal, we feel the government's role is to protect the right of the individual. And this movement is about giving the individuals the power to take back our government. And then what we're doing, we're going to make it fun. We're going to have music and the arts and spirituality and energy and innovation. It's what brings us all together in this powerful, peaceful, positive movement. I think there'll be a lot of harmony. Again, that will result in, igniting a lot of people to run as independents, beginning with the congressional races in 2014. And we're going to provide them the tools, these honest candidates, to truly have a free and equal chance of winning. And it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Hey, you raised a great point. When the country was founded, the individual was the sovereign, and the government was there strictly to serve the individual. Now it looks like things have flipped. The government is the master, and the individual exists strictly to serve the government.
Yes, and you're right. The role of the government, again, under the Declaration of Independence, is to protect the right of the individual. The people, we want to be left alone. We just want to have our rights, protected. And I'm a big believer in the leave me aloneism way of thinking. And so, here at Free and Equal, we're here to shift the culture. The whole world is watching us. And when America rises, we recognize that there's more of us than there are of them. And that there have been tools that a few dozen families have used, like the two-party system. I'm a true believer in the fact that parties don't work. Even third parties, as they become larger, they become infiltrated at the national level. We'll write a book on that someday in great detail. And, and whether it's mainstream media is another tool, the Commission on Presidential Debates, our monetary system, the Federal Reserve, created in 1913, the same time as the income tax. I mean, all these are tools that the powers to be use to divide us, to intentionally provoke needless chaos, needless death, war, negativity. And so we are rising, and with tools like the internet and social media and Free and Equal really becoming this vessel of information, we're going to rise and take our government back. And when we do, the whole world will take our lead. And there's just going to be so much unity. Life is so limited. Every moment, every day, every second, every breath we have here on earth, it should be in happiness and harmony. It's my favorite word of all time is harmony. It really is. And so really my agenda is not only to fix this electoral system by shifting our culture, by protecting, calling out the government's role for what it should be, again, to protect the right of the government. And the point of government is to keep us from being ruled. And right now the government's ruling us. And when we put it back to what our founding fathers once really wanted our government to be, everything's going to fall into place. There's going to be less hungry people, less animals on the streets, and less needless deaths, and cures for everything will be found. Innovation, good money behind technology is essential. So that's really what Free and Equal is about.
You raised such a great point. No coincidence, the income tax and the Federal Reserve both passed in 1913, and now we're having a really ignominious anniversary of both. The Federal Reserve, December 23rd, 100th anniversary. And yet now we have the internet. You think the internet is bigger than both of them put together?
I do think it's, I guess. I mean, I definitely see it more so as the key that our founding fathers were missing when they created the Constitution. And the internet, gosh, I mean, we are going to launch a separate initiative on top of Free and Equal Store, Free and Equal Network, that pulls in information to build others, honest media, seemingly like yourself. And but the internet, we're going to be launching also election assistant that lists every single candidate running for office, whether they're with a party or not. They can no longer hide behind party labels. And with the internet and Free and Equal becoming the vessel of information beyond Facebook, I think parties are going to become a thing of the past. Money in politics, some say even Facebook. I mean, it's just the time is due. Mainstream media accountability is what the internet can help us see, that if somebody does something not right, they're held accountable for it. When we shine a light on, all of these different, whether it's the music industry, which has been intentionally suppressed, Hollywood. I mean, it's more tools that the elite use to control us. This is a new platform. This is a shift in American awareness, our culture here. A new market for products, ideas, and we're definitely going to hold those accountable in the sense that those who have not done good things are going to be like cockroaches. They're going to scatter. They're going to fade away and go away. And the good people, which is most of us, all your listeners, more of us than there are of them, are really, we're going to unite. And there's no need for negativity. The system wants us to get angry. They want us to give up. They want us to be jaded. And that's why we're strategically targeting the universities, because the kids are definitely the easiest to influence. But eventually everybody is going to join, or most, I hope, will join this movement, beginning with the U.S. and worldwide is my hope. I plan on visiting every leader and all the wonderful people throughout the world and cultures, and there's just so much more in common than human beings that want to live a happy life. I think most of us.
A couple of years ago, Christina, I might have thought you were a bit maybe a little utopian and idealistic, but what I've seen happening here and the fact that the old system really is sputtering and having trouble continuing onward, and really it's coming to an end, maybe we're ready for a paradigm shift.
Absolutely. There's definitely a shift coming here very quickly. Last year, many individuals may know Free and Equal. We hosted a presidential debate moderated by Larry King and myself, and tens of millions of people viewed that. We're top 10 trending on Twitter, and a lot has happened. We decided to raise the bar. There's been leaders, whether it's Ralph Nader or Dr. Ron Paul, who once said, if you're ever going to bring about a revolutionary change, two things would need to be involved. Dr. Ron Paul once said, if we're ever going to bring about a revolutionary change, we would need two things, the youth and the music. So leaders like Christina, I hope, I know he's interested in being a part of this festival. I hope he does join, and I've definitely spoken recently with Dr. Ron Paul himself. I worked nationally for Ralph Nader in 2008 as a ballot access coordinator. I don't believe in all of his views necessarily, but I believe in more voices and choices. More voices, more choices. That's the slogan at Free and Equal. And so definitely very excited. There is definitely a coming shift in American awareness, and I definitely see amazing things around the corner for us in 2014 for the world, starting with the U.S., of course.
Yeah, well, we were kind of the hot seat of liberty, of free markets, and of personal empowerment of the individual, that if you had a dream, if you wanted to pursue personal happiness, that whole concept didn't exist before the founding of America, of the United States of America. And now look at us. It's kind of disheartening, but when I hear people like you, Christina, really recommitting to that dream, it does give one hope.
No, there's no other option, because the system wants us to lose hope. They want us to give up. I had a young girl once at a recent Students for Liberty conference book at Pepperdine University here in California after an event, and she came up to me and she says, "Why do you do what you do? There's just no way. It's not possible." And I looked at her and I said, "Then why are you here? Why are you here at a Liberty event wanting to help make our," and I said it very kindly, why are you here? This is a Liberty event and making the world a better place. And I ended on the note that the system wants you to give up. And if you give up, you become a part of the problem. And she just looked at me and she goes, "I never thought of it that way. You're right. I'm not going to give up. We can fix this." It was just like this light bulb came on, and it still gives me chills, that moment. I wish I could have recorded it, but, it's one at a time. And whether it's myself, you, and the work that you do, and your listeners being optimistic and countering that negativity, as we turn those light bulbs on one at a time, we play our role, our destiny. I mean, it just is going to catch on like wildfire. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And I think next year could be a very positive year, which is definitely maybe with the money behind all the things I mentioned before. A couple dozen families won't expect to happen. But again, I don't point fingers at those who may have been a part or a factor in causing this chaos up around the world. We're here to fix it. we're here to fix this. And I think even those who may have been very influential in causing seemingly a lot of negativity in the world can see that with this movement, there's other ways to make money, and ways that will help better our world. And again, the cockroaches will scatter away, and we're not here to point fingers. We're here to fix things at free and equal in a peaceful way. And for your listeners listening today, they're more than welcome to support us at Free and Equal, freeandequal.org. We're truly grassroots. All donations are tax deductible. And that's really, compromise is not an option. We've turned down really big money that wanted to, I feel, take over this movement. Well, sorry, it's not an option. Most of our money comes from smaller donors, 70-80%, and that's what Free and Equal is. It's a company and organization that is an organization for the people.
Hey, well, you're doing great work. Just give us your sites. I know you've got a couple of them, and how to make contributions, get in touch with you.
Sure. Free and Equal, freeandequal.org is really the site to go to make a contribution today. Of course, you can find more information on freeandequal.org about our United We Stand Fest. If you just click on the events tab, it's right there. And again, freeandequal.org. I really appreciate your support. Again, I'm just a 32-year-old gal that wants to help save our country, and I feel very humbled and honored to be seemingly at the forefront of a movement. And I thank you so much for the work that you do tirelessly, I'm sure, and helping to spread the message. And really thank you for having me on your show today.
Hey, well, it's a pleasure. Keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll join you out there in LA on May 10th. It's something I'd really love to see.
Wonderful. It'd be great to have you there. Thank you for your time and, again, all that you do.
Hey, and great luck to you. Keep up the great work. Hi, it's Kerry Lutz. I recently decided to move my retirement account into physical precious metals to hedge against the coming times. If you want to move an existing retirement account into physical precious metals that you can hold in your hand, tax-free, there's no company that can do it more quickly and efficiently than Regal Assets. It took them just 24 hours to open my new IRA account, and all I had to do was fill out one simple form. The best part is that Regal Assets does all the work for you. They cover the setup and administrative costs for 2013. If you're interested in making the same move I did, call 855-678-6620, 855-678-6620. That's 855-678-6620, or visit them at regalassets.com. You'll be glad you did, and tell them Kerry sent you. Our friend Tom Dyson at the Palm Beach Letter is giving away free copies of a really cool report he put together called How to Protect Yourself from America's New Secret Police. Inside, you'll learn all sorts of simple, everyday tricks you can use to make yourself a little less visible and vulnerable to scammers, hackers, and even the federal government. For instance, inside Tom's report, you'll learn which free internet email service never to use. This company doesn't care if your account gets hacked or not. Or things the government must tell you if they request your social security number. And how to spot skimmers lying in wait on ATMs and gas pumps, and much, much more. These tricks and secrets are low-hanging fruit ideas. You don't have to invest time or much money into them. Most are free. But by taking some basic measures, you can make your privacy much harder to invade than your neighbors. Tom's report is available for a limited time to listeners who take a trial subscription to his newsletter. Just visit the Financial Survival Network homepage for more information, or go to www.palmbeachletter2.com. That's www.palmbeachletter2.com.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.